Blair here. Welcome again to Back to the Past. The weather has changed drastically since yesterday even, or the day, certainly since the day before, to where the sun is out. My goodness, it's cold. Today's high, I think, is supposed to get to the upper 30s. It's about 35 right now, and it's getting windy. I have sheathing to put up, which I'm not too enthusiastic about doing when it's windy, but that's the stage that I'm at right now, and it'll make everything else safer. Now, I'm not a person who is going to work 20 or 25 feet in the air climbing a ladder with a sheet of sheathing. So I'm doing this all from the inside, which seems to be working okay. And what I do is to drill a hole through the plywood, attach a small rope, then a big rope to that, and then I'm able to slide this sheet of OSB through here. I've got a 2x4 on the back side here and another one on the back side over there to keep the panel from going out on the bottom. And it's been working actually pretty well, or as well as could be expected for one person. So here we go, trying to set this one. That has it roughly in place. I've got some spacers between the two panels just for some expansion contraction room. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'll put in a couple screws and come down, check everything, and then I'll finish nailing it up. Down here it appears pretty good. I'll go ahead and finish nailing that up. Pretty relieved to have all of this high sheathing finished now. Once I get these studs in, I'm going to have to do some nailing. I'll reach across the top as high as I can, or down as far as I can, which isn't going to be too far. There's going to be some of this sheet that isn't nailed because I couldn't reach it from a long ladder from down below. It's getting to be just too long a stretch. I would like to be starting a lot earlier than what I have been, but I'm not going to work up high here when I've got frost on my aluminum plank, on my decking, and on all of my ladders. So I've got to wait for that to melt before I actually get started. So typically it's a late morning start. It's been pretty doggone chilly. We've had overnight lows down around 20 and daily highs that maybe into the as much as the mid 30s. The sunshine sure feels good though. Here we go with putting the studs, framing in the studs on this south wall. That has the wall framing finished up here. It's time to start putting in some more rafters. This aluminum plank is extremely handy for being able to access fasteners and being able to attach the rafters to this beam. When I did the other side, it wasn't too big a deal to move from one side to another and stair step my way from one end to the other, but here it'll be more difficult because of this. I don't want to be moving my ladder from one side to the other of this. That would be a real pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this side out completely before I work this side out. Now the one tendency when you work from just one side is to push a bow into the beam, which we absolutely don't want. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do here, is to attach tops only and leave those ends just sit wild wherever they happen to be until I've come around to this side and attach all the tops on this side. And then what I can do is go from side to side. It's not that big a deal to move a short ladder from side to side to be able to attach it to the top wall plates, and that'll keep everything aligned. The one other thing that I have to do is I have a 19th century vintage pot-bellied stove that I'm going to put in here. So I have to do some adjustment to the roof framing in order to be able to get a thimble through the roof for that pot-bellied stove. So on this side I'll have one or two that I'll put in, and then I'll have to leave a space and do some double framing on that one in order to make a hole through the roof for the pot-bellied stovepipe. Here we go. Well, I need to cut 3 more rafters to finish out this side, so I'll go do that. I probably won't record anymore until maybe we're working on the chimney opening, or maybe even after all the rafters are in. See you in a little while. Well, I am quite happy and extremely relieved to finally have all the rafters in the barn up now, with the exception of the barge rafters. The barge rafters I'll put in place after I've got some of the roof sheathing started. It's a little easier to do that way. Again, I'm so relieved that I believe tonight I will go into town and have a beer. Well, with all the rafters in now, I'm going to go ahead and put in some of the ceiling joists. I'm not going to be able to put in all of them. In fact, I'm probably not going to put in all that many. If I get a few on each side, that will prevent the center of the roof from sagging and the walls from spreading here in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Today, my goal is to get the first row of roof sheathing on each side to protect the insides of these walls, because tomorrow we're supposed to have some rain mixed with snow coming in, and I don't like the sounds of that, but I want to be as prepared as I can for it. That is all I can get on that side. I've got bracing in the way that can't be removed yet, so the rest of that side will have to wait until after I've got the roof on it. I'll go ahead and get started getting set up to do a few on this side. That is all of the ceiling joists that I could get in for now. Got bracing in the way of everything else. So now it's time to trim my rafter ends and make a nice straight line there, nail a 2x4 to them, and then I'm ready to start up with some sheathing. That'll feel good. It's beginning to look like a maze in here with the shadows going across all of the framing. Well, I believe I'm going to have to end this episode here. Normally, I get as much done as what I plan to do, and I fell a little bit short of reaching my goals this time around, mostly because the weather has not been my friend. Today, the weather is especially unfriendly in that it is near 0 degrees outside. We've got about an inch of snow on the ground, and it's pretty darn windy. So obviously, I don't go outdoors to do much more than bring in firewood. Now, the fire feels absolutely delightful today. I sit as close as I can to it to keep warm, and it's a very pleasant thing indoors. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. If so, please hit the thumbs up down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And most of all, please share this with a friend. And then I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.